Piers Morgan did it again. He ended another Democrat politician. This is so shocking because this is someone running for governor of California.
So are you suggesting that you would allow trans athletes to compete in women's sport in the Olympics if you were governor?
Well, I think there's still a lot of discussion that needs to happen.
This is the conversation. It's happening right now.
They are now part of, they have been through a transition, a physical transition, and I do believe that they should be able to participate with other female athletes.
Wow.
Tomorrow I could decide that I'm a woman and therefore compete as a woman, and there would be no physical transition required.
But my question is whether you think they should compete in women's sport in the Olympics, because it's coming to LA, so it's relevant.
I think transgender female athletes are women athletes, and they should be able to compete.
Really?
Okay, so there it is. She thinks men who transition to women are female athletes.
So if you were governor of California, you would support biological males who identify as women competing in women's sport in the Olympics?
They are now identified as transgender female.
So tomorrow, if I decide that I'm a woman, well, I'm now identifying as a woman, so I can compete with women. And this is the person running for governor of California.
Out of interest, why do you think we separate the sexes in the Olympics?
Because of biology. She has to concede this.
Well, because they do come with different attributes in terms of physicality. And
so you accept that we separate the sexes because men have a physical advantage over women?
I know about an advantage in some sports, yes. In other sports, maybe not.
Can you think of a single sport in the Olympics where men would not have an advantage over women, with the exception potentially of archery?
You know, I think you can see female athletes where, particularly in track and field, where agility is probably...
This is shocking because track and field is one of the sports that we see the biological differences most clearly.
Hang on, are you suggesting that women... So hang on, you think that women could compete against men in track and field, like in 100 meters, 200 meters, 10,000 meters, do you?
Perhaps. You know, I'm not a sports expert.
It's very unwise to come on Piers Morgan and talk about this topic if you don't even have a rudimentary understanding of biological reality.
Have you seen the times that women and men record in the Olympics for all track and field events? Have you watched Usain Bolt when he smashed the world record for the 100 meters?
Yes. Yes.
So you think women could run against Usain Bolt, for example, at his peak, and that would be fair?
I think, look, I'm just going to say this. There's a lot of misinformation about the ability of transgender athletes.
That wasn't my question. My question was, you've got the Olympics coming to your state. Yes. You want to be the California governor. I am actually a resident in California, in Los Angeles. I'm very curious about your response to how you would want the Olympics to be conducted, which would be fair and equitable for women. But it seems to me like you would like to remove any sexual differentiation between the Olympic sports and let them all compete. It would be gender neutral, would it, if you were governor?
Well, I want to be sure that everyone has the ability to compete.
Ironically, you're making it more difficult for fair competitions to actually occur.
Right, but would you have a gender neutral Olympics where you would have you wouldn't have male and female sport then? You just have one that everyone could join in.
Well, I don't think we're going to get that tomorrow, but I think it's a conversation worth having.
That is her goal. She says it right here.
But you've already said that you understand the reason they separate the sexes is that men have a physical advantage over women. That is why we separate the sexes in the Olympics.
In some sports, I believe so.
Tell me a sport where it would have no impact.
I do believe that women are equipped to break records in track and field.
Yes, women will be able to break records set by women.
And some
Tell me one track and field event where a woman would beat a man in the Olympics.
Well, in fact,
let me make it easier. Tell me a single track and field event in the Olympics where a woman would qualify for any of the finals.
Well, I would think that in some of the in the short course, track events.
And this is interesting because she's kind of exposing her own position by admitting that, well, if it was longer running, then yes, the men would be able to overtake them. But if it's just really fast, short sprints, they could probably do it.
What do you mean? Like how long?
It's not going to be the long races.
And why not the longer races? Because the biological differences would become apparent.
But the shorter races, where they can
100
train.
meters, 200 meters?
Could be 100-meter, sure.
And this logically makes no sense. If men would have an advantage over 100 meters, they would have an advantage under 100 meters. I have this new sponsor that I'm genuinely really excited about, Bearskin Tactical. Smart people are locking in their winter gear right now while it's on sale. Bearskin is running a 60% off deal right now, but only if you get your hoodie early, which is the hoodie I'm wearing right now. This hoodie is built like a tank. 340 GSM microfleece, 10 pockets with a clean, rugged fit that looks awesome. It zips right into the heavy storm rain jacket to become 100% waterproof when you need it. So when it turns cold, wet, and windy, you're not scrambling last minute. You'll get free US shipping, fast delivery, and you've locked in your winter gear already. It's a win-win. Do yourself a favor, text the word Warren to 36912 to lock in your 60% off. Again, text Warren to 36912. You'll get a link sent straight to your phone so you can check it out later if you're busy right now. When you buy Bearskin, you are supporting the Fallen Outdoors and the Hope for the Warriors Veterans programs. So you're not just buying cool gear, but you're also backing a cause that's important. Don't wait till you're freezing to realize your hoodie sucks. Get a Bearskin now while it's 60% off. Text Warren to 36912.
You think, I'm sorry to Betty, but given that obviously I got you on because Katie Porter wouldn't answer questions.
Katie Porter wouldn't come on the show and talk to Piers, so he brings on what it looks like one of her competitors who's trying to run for the same position. She saw an opportunity, but it was a mistake.
And you then added another post, Katie Porter is a weak, self-destructive candidate, unfit to lead California. Mistakes are too high for her to stay in this race. It's time for her to drop out of the race.
I just believe that her temperament and frankly, just not being responsive to the reporter was just not cutting it.
But this goes so badly, I think this just ended any chance she had.
You genuinely think that we should have a gender-neutral 100 meters in the Olympics when it comes to California?
What I am saying is, I don't know that we know fully.
We know enough.
Well, we do know fully because we know that women's 100-meter records compared to men's show that men are much, much faster over 100 meters than women. That's why we separate the sexes. Same with 200 meters, same with 400 meters, same with 5,000 meters, same with 800 meters, same with 10,000 meters. That is why we separate the sexes. If you had men and women competing in the same Olympic track and field events, women would never win a medal again. How do you not know that?
Well, let me just say this. I think we can all agree that we want people to have equal opportunity to participate. I don't know that we know, frankly, just with transgender people participating in athletics, really how they would fare.
We have been running this experiment. We do have results that we can look at. I personally have had students who have been in this situation where they're competing with biological males. I had a student break her leg, and one of her teammates was injured playing against the same male player in field hockey in the same game. He injured 2 girls.
I don't think we know enough.
You don't think we know enough about the relative physiology of men and women to work out whether they should compete separately? Would you like boxing to be gender neutral in the Olympics?
No, of course not.
Why not?
Well, because I don't like boxing.
Well, I'm not a boxing fan, and I'm not a particular big fan of the sport. It is high potential for injury and harm.
Oh, so in boxing there's a potential for harm. What about field hockey? The logic would be the same.
Really? So how did you feel about Imam Khalif, the Algerian boxer, competing in the Paris Olympics when Imam Khalif had failed to qualify for the World, or had been disqualified from the World Championships the year before for testing positive for male chromosomes?
I don't know much about boxing, Piers. I'm sorry. I don't have a view about it.
Okay. Betty Yee, thank you very much indeed for joining me. I appreciate it.
Piers even acknowledges how badly this went and how I don't see how anyone could vote for her after this.
I've got a feeling when Betty Yee sees the reaction to what she has said about the Olympics coming to California and how she would like it to be gender neutral, particularly in the 100 meters, the ridicule that is going to fall on her head is going to be such that I suspect her position as a candidate will become untenable pretty quickly.